What's going on, everyone? This is Julio with Live in New Braunfels, Texas. If this is your first time here on this channel, I talk about what is really living in New Braunfels, Texas. The good, the bad, the growth, the neighborhoods, and everything you need to know before you move here. Now here's the reality in 2026. New Braunfels is changing fast. And if you're thinking about moving here this year, choosing the wrong neighborhood could completely change your experience. Some areas feel more established and quiet, some are exploding with new development, some are perfect for families, some are better for hill country views, and some neighborhoods are going to look very different 5 years from now. I'm breaking down the top 5 neighborhoods people are moving to in 2026. And I'll explain who each neighborhood is best for, what the vibe feels like, what price ranges look like in 2026, and what you really need to know before you buy there. And trust me, number 5 is going to surprise a lot of people moving from out of state. And by the way, if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels, whether that's in 7 days or 7 months, I am not going to pass you off to some random assistant or another team agent. You work directly with me from start to finish. Calls, text, video tours, contracts, inspections, and because so many people are relocating here in 2026, I created a free relocation guide for New Braunfels and San Antonio. It covers neighborhoods, schools, and areas to avoid depending on your lifestyle. So, if you want that guide or you want to schedule a one-on-one call, my contact information is in the description below. But seriously, reach out before you make a mistake buying in the wrong area. Now let's jump into neighborhood number 1. Veramendi has become one of the most talked about communities in New Braunfels. And honestly, it makes sense why. This neighborhood gives you something that's becoming harder and harder to find in Texas, a true master planned community without feeling overcrowded. Now location-wise, Veramendi sits on the northwest side of New Braunfels, closer to the hill country, the side of town. And this area has really exploded in popularity because people want more space, more nature, more scenery, and less of the heavy I-35 congestion. The first thing people notice here is how beautiful the terrain is. Rolling hills, mature trees, trails, elevation changes. It doesn't feel flat. It feels like Texas hill country. And that's a huge selling point in 2026. Especially for buyers moving from California, Colorado, Arizona, or even the Austin suburbs. Now, another thing helping Veramendi grow is the expansion of retail and daily convenience nearby. Because 5 years ago, one of the biggest complaints was, beautiful neighborhood, but everything feels far. That's changing quickly. We have more restaurants, more shopping, more medical offices, more connectivity, and the community itself keeps growing. You have multiple builders in the area and different price points, and a mix of modern hill country style homes. Most buyers moving here in 2026 are typically families, remote workers, or professionals wanting a quieter lifestyle. Now, pricing here. You generally are going to see homes ranging from the low 400s, close to 800s, depending on the lot and size of home. We also have Del Webb, which is the 55 and over community. If you want hill country views without going super far outside the city, Veramendi is one of the strongest options right now. But here's the thing, if Veramendi feels too far west for you, the next neighborhood might actually be the future of New Braunfels. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that. A lot of people are betting big on this area in 2026. Mayfair. Mayfair is probably the neighborhood I get asked about the most right now. And honestly, it's because people see the growth happening there right now. And it's fast growing. Now, if you haven't heard of Mayfair yet, this is one of the biggest master plan developments in the entire area. And it's strategically located near the Creekside corridor and the I-35, which means access to shopping, restaurants, entertainment, and the quick access to the I-35. And in 2026, that matters more than ever. Why? Because traffic in New Braunfels is becoming a real conversation, especially for commuters going towards San Antonio or Austin. Now, one reason why people are getting excited about Mayfair, it's because buyers feel like they're really getting in early. People see this area as the next major growth corridor. And with projects like Costco, Topgolf, Sprouts, and continued commercial expansion nearby, a lot of buyers believe this side of town is going to continue to appreciate long term. Now, the vibe here is different, very different from Veramendi. Mayfair feels newer, more modern, more energetic. It's designed around walkability, community, gathering spaces, and future mixed-use development. Almost a live-work-play concept, and younger families love that. Now, another reason this neighborhood is getting attention in 2026 is because it still offers a wider range of price points. You can still find homes in more approachable ranges compared to some luxury hill country communities, especially depending on builder and lot size. Some homes starting in the low 300s and maybe the high 200s. And that's attracting first-time Texas home buyers, especially people relocating from higher cost states. Now, personally, I think Mayfair is one of the areas to watch over the next 5 to 10 years, because once all the commercial development fully catches up, this area could feel completely different. Now, if Mayfair feels a little too master planned and you want something more established, more luxurious, and more hill country custom home style, this next neighborhood is on another level. Vintage Oaks is one of the premier luxury communities in the entire New Braunfels area. And honestly, this neighborhood doesn't even feel like a typical suburban Texas. It feels elevated. Now, this community sits farther west towards the hill countryside, and the first thing you notice is space. Large lots, custom homes, massive oak trees, hill country scenery. This is where many buyers move when they want privacy, luxury, and room to breathe. And in 2026, that lifestyle has become even more desirable, especially with more remote workers and business owners leaving big cities. Now, the amenities here are incredible: resort-style pool, fitness center, lazy river, clubhouse, trails, and the community itself feels very polished. Now, let's talk honestly about pricing. Vintage Oaks is not the budget option on this list. You're commonly looking from starting around $550 on the smaller lot homes to starting in the 800s in the larger lot homes, well into multi-million dollar custom homes. But buyers are usually prioritizing lifestyle over commute convenience because you are farther from the major retail compared to areas near Creekside. But many people actually prefer that. They want quiet, they want nature, they want the hill country feel. And another thing I noticed with buyers, a lot of people moving here are planning long term. This isn't usually the starter home crowd. This is, we found where we want to stay, and that says a lot about the community. Now, if you like the hill country vibe, but Vintage Oaks feels a little too expensive, I've got another neighborhood coming up that gives you a lot of that same atmosphere at a different price point. And honestly, the neighborhood has become one of the hidden gems around New Braunfels. And that neighborhood is Meyer Ranch. Meyer Ranch has quietly become one of the best communities for families wanting hill country living. Especially in 2026, now this neighborhood is located closer towards Boulevard and Spring Branch, And people moving here usually want scenery, nature, community, and larger homes without paying vintage oak prices. And the atmosphere here feels very family oriented. You see kids riding bikes, families walking trails, and community events, dog parks, open spaces. And one thing buyers really love is the elevation and views. Some sections have beautiful hill country scenery, especially during sunset. Now, another reason Meyer Ranch keeps growing is because people are willing to trade a slightly longer commute for a better lifestyle out in the hill country. That's become a major trend in Texas. People care more about space, peace, and home quality than simply being close to downtown. Now, price-wise, you'll typically find homes from the 400s up into the 600s depending on the size and location. And compared to some Austin suburbs, many buyers still see this area as a strong value in 2026, especially for newer construction. Now, one thing to understand, this area does feel more suburban and spread out, so if you want nightlife and tons of restaurants 5 minutes away, this may not be your top choice. But if you want family, lifestyle, and hill country atmosphere, Meyer Ranch checks a lot of the boxes. All right, now the final neighborhood on this list is very different from everything we've talked about so far. And honestly, this is one of the most underrated luxury lifestyle communities near New Braunfels, Texas, especially for buyers wanting land and privacy. River Chase is one of those neighborhoods people discover and immediately say, wait, this exists in New Braunfels? Now, River Chase sits between New Braunfels and Canyon Lake. And the biggest word I use here is space. Large acreage style lots, custom homes, trees everywhere, privacy. This is not your cookie cutter suburbia. And that's exactly why some buyers fall in love with it. Now, another massive advantage, River Chase has private access to the Guadalupe River. And in New Braunfels, that's a big deal, especially if you love the outdoor life. Kayaking, tubing, fishing, hiking, country living. This area really captures that Texas lifestyle many out-of-state buyers imagine when moving here. Now, the trade-off, you are farther from the major retail and restaurants compared to Creekside or central New Braunfels. So this neighborhood works best for people prioritizing lifestyle, land, privacy, and nature. And in 2026, there are more buyers looking for exactly that, especially the high-income remote workers. Now price ranges here vary heavily because homes are so unique, but you'll commonly see homes from the 600s on up into luxury custom estates well over $1 million. And honestly, if you want something that doesn't feel like a master plan subdivision, River Chase deserves a serious consideration. So there you have it. The top 5 neighborhoods to move to in New Braunfels, Texas in 2026. Veramendi, Mayfair, Vineyard Oaks, Meyer Ranch, and River Chase. And the truth is, there is no perfect neighborhood for everyone. It really depends on your lifestyle and what you're looking for. Do you want walkability, hill country views, luxury, family atmosphere, commute convenience, privacy, future appreciation potential? That's why I always recommend people talk to someone local before buying, because one wrong decision can completely change your experience living here. And if you're planning a move to New Braunfels or San Antonio, reach out to me directly. Call me or text me. I help people relocate here all the time. And again, I personally work with you from start to finish. And don't forget to grab the free relocation guide below in the description. If this video helped you, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. Which neighborhood would you choose in 2026? As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.